recovering and rebuilding in the city of Jacksonville. I'm Julissa Garza. Coming up, I'll introduce you to a group who's working to do just that.
Well, we have another gorgeous day in our forecast for your Monday with a quiet weather pattern over the next few days, but we'll start to see rain back in the picture later this week, along with the chance for some storms once again. I'll explain in your forecast coming up.
After multiple mass shootings, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson talks gun control.
We're going to have to change if we're going to address the issues that we see.
And we saw rallies across the U.S. for and against a popular abortion pill, what the Supreme Court is weighing ahead of a potential case. Thank you for joining us late tonight. I'm Sarah Horabeciwz. Now, it's been just over 2 weeks since a tornado made its way through here in central Arkansas. It impacted several communities, including the city of Jacksonville. And THV11's Julissa Garza introduces us to a group that's working to help the city continue rebuilding and recovering. This is what the city of Jacksonville looked like after the March tornado. Several businesses and homes destroyed.
It's kind of surreal.
This is what those hard-hit areas look like today. A lot of the debris cleaned up thanks to efforts from the community.
I started going to a couple of different places that were like passing out food and supplies and stuff and trying to get connected and lend a hand wherever I could.
Like many people in the city, Christopher Urkel jumped into action as soon as the tornado passed, and others joined him.
To see some of the relief that it provides to people, it's rewarding in your heart.
This led to Project Jacksonville, an organization Urkel started a few years ago.
It started off just picking up a little bit of litter and cleaning up empty property lots.
They put the organization on pause, but now they're back in action, working to help the city they call home recover.
This last week, whenever they cleared everybody to come clean Dupree Park, that I was able to go out there and do some cleaning there for a couple of days, and then just yesterday, I spent some time over by the elementary school.
The group plans to continue lending a helping hand to whoever may need it beyond tornado recovery.
We're all going through stuff, and some more severe than others, but we need to be there for each other.
In Jacksonville, Julissa Garza, THV 11 News. The mayor is working closely with DHS to help find permanent housing for storm victims. FEMA and American Red Cross are also working to provide relief to those in need. One of the best ways to get help is at the new Disaster Recovery Center inside the West Central Community Center. Patrick Boland with FEMA says the centers are a one-stop shop for anything storm victims may need.
It's here to provide access to people for not only FEMA services, but also Small Business Administration and American Red Cross. And this is really a place for people to come and manage their applications for assistance, make sure they're getting all the care that they need, as well as access to the services that FEMA offers.
The centers have grants for housing, food, and anything else you might need to get back on your feet. American Red Cross also has hotel rooms and food available. And if you want any more information, we have that right now on our website at thv11.com.
Well, it's been an ongoing recovery effort, and that's going to be the case over the next few weeks. From that, we did have another threat of some active weather yesterday. This time around, though, it was mainly hail that was one of the more significant impacts. Here's an example of that. Large hail at that. This is over in Fort Smith from the storms from yesterday. A lot of this hail was in over 2 inches in diameter in some of these storms as well. That did kind of cause a little bit of some of that damage. Fortunately, no other concerns in regards to anything tornadic, but we did see some pretty damaging winds. Fortunately, it was a lot better for today weather-wise, a lot cooler compared to the 70s and 80s we saw over the last few days. Upper 60s this afternoon, still feeling pretty refreshing this evening in the 50s, and a few pockets already in the 40s. Tonight is going to be a bit cool for us in the low 40s for many locations, but another beautiful day in store with sunshine is expected for Monday with some warmer temperatures. We do have a threat for some active weather, unfortunately, later this week. I'll get to the details on that coming up.
Yesterday, we told you about Benton police searching for a capital murder suspect. Well, today, the department announced that Gary Griffin is in custody. He faces a list of other charges as the investigation is ongoing. A small Alabama city is grieving after authorities say 4 people were killed and 28 suffered injuries, some critical, in a shooting last night at a teenager's birthday party. Christian Benavidez reports from Miami.
Dadeville, Alabama is a community mourning after gun violence broke out at a 16th birthday party. Residents and some survivors of the shooting gathered for a vigil Sunday night. Witnesses say teenagers are among the dead and injured.
I got shot right here, and right here.
Investigators are collecting evidence at the Mahogany Masterpiece Dance Studio, where the party was held Saturday night.
We're going through in a very methodical way. We're going to do exactly what we need to do to ensure justice is brought to bear for those families.
Antoine Woody says he knows two of the victims, including his best friend.
We love each other, and I just hate that it had to happen to him like that.
Authorities are urging the public to come forward with any information about the shooting.
I cannot stress this enough. Ever how minor you think it is, we absolutely need you to share it.
The mayor of the city northeast of Montgomery, with a population of about 3,200, says the tragedy came as a shock.
We never had anything like this happen here in my whole 73 years.
This weekend also saw deadly gun violence at a crowded park in Louisville, Kentucky, where 2 men were killed and 4 other people wounded. It follows Monday's mass shooting at a downtown bank.
5 days later, we're at another scene of a reckless act of gun violence.
A new CBS News poll shows roughly 3 in 4 Americans believe mass shootings are preventable, and just over 60% say they want the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle banned. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
In a statement about yesterday's gun violence, President Biden said, quote, "Once again, our nation is grieving." He then cited guns as the leading killer of children in America and called it, quote, "outrageous and unacceptable." Today, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson appeared on CBS's Face the Nation addressing gun violence. He spoke about the issue in the U.S. and a possible correlation between mental illness and firearms.
Mental illness is there, but whenever it gets to the level of risk and danger to others, we should act as a society. And we've ignored that for the last really 50 years.
Hutchinson said there's a difference between sweeping red flag laws for anyone, like people who may be getting help from a therapist for depression, versus those who've been reported to be potentially a danger to themselves or others.
We all have those issues in life, but if it reaches the point of paranoia, sociopathic behavior, or that you're a risk to yourself of suicide, or you're a risk to others in terms of homicide, then we as a society, if we can identify that, which we can, we have to act on it.
Hutchinson also announced on April 2nd that he'll be running for president in 2024. Justice Samuel Alito's temporary hold preserving access to mifepristone ends on Wednesday night as the justices review the lower court ruling, weighing whether to step in. Skylar Henry has the developments from Washington.
When you attack the rights of women in America, you are attacking America.
This weekend, Vice President Kamala Harris made a surprise appearance at an abortion rights rally in Los Angeles, one of several demonstrations across the country concerned that the courts are turning back the clock on reproductive health care.
We say pro-choice!
On Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court temporarily preserved access to the widely used abortion pill mifepristone after an emergency appeal by the Biden administration. Justices are considering whether to intervene in the court battle over the drug after a Trump-appointed federal appeals court judge in Texas ruled to block access earlier this month.
If we're going to use the federal courts as a way to bar and ban access, we are looking at a national abortion ban and more. And I think states have to band together to do as much as they can in opposition to that.
A new CBS News poll out today shows nearly 70% of all Americans want to see mifepristone remain available in states where abortion is legal, including almost half of Republicans. Several GOP lawmakers are now challenging their party's hardline abortion position.
And I have a great pro-life voting record, but some of the stances we've taken, especially when it comes to rape and incest, protecting the life of the mother, it's so extreme. The middle, the independent voters, right of center, left of center, they cannot support us.
Though the temporary hold will remain until Wednesday night, Justice Alito gave anti-abortion medical associations and physicians who brought the challenge of the FDA approval of mifepristone until Tuesday at noon to respond. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Still ahead, fungal invaders aren't just a fiction from the show The Last of Us. They're real. After the break, experts are going to break down how the real-life version is different, plus how it's the same. But first, we're going to check in on the forecast, Corrales.
Well, we have another beautiful day in store for our Monday. Later in the week, though, we'll be tracking the chance for some more rain and even the chance for some storms as well. Not something we want to hear, but I'll explain the details in the forecast just ahead.